Okay. Hey, Aiman.
Hi.
So good to see you, and thanks for taking the time.
Uh-huh.
So I wanted to share your story with our community because I I felt that you have a unique you have an interesting message to share, lah, right? And right now you're actually on your self-learning journey as well,
Yes.
especially in tech. So I believe you have some very good insights for a lot of future people that may be watching this, and probably they want to learn coding as well or learn to become a tech person. So I feel that your insights will be very useful. But to introduce yourself to the community, maybe do you want to share more about yourself and your background in brief? Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Aiman, and I was a business developer at a local startup. So in Malaysia. So I started my journey actually my journey in working in a startup scene around 3 years ago. So and during my work days, work experience, I kind of like get more interested in technology and software development, and that's why I wanted to go into transition into this space. Yeah.
Interesting. No, I mean, tell us a bit more about your journey. So, where do you study? Where do you graduate in?
Oh yeah.
Were you working already in this business development role? Yeah.
Yeah. So I study in Chicago as a art student, Columbia College Chicago. So I was studying computer animation course.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so during that time, I was a very artsy kid, so I like to draw and look into more try to get a to start a career in the animation industry.
Hmm.
However, halfway through my study, I kind of like get interested in startup and then technology in general. And I took an internship back in Malaysia at a company in Malaysia, and then I kind of like it. Like I like the whole ecosystem where everything is fast paced and challenging, and especially in the IT department because I also have to communicate with the developer there, like what to do, what feature to build and everything. And that's when I first started to get into this. So upon graduation, I applied for a job at a startup company, and then I got in, and then yeah, everything, and the rest is history.
Amazing. Okay, interesting stuff. So, I'm assuming you're no longer working at a startup, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So actually, why? I mean, what's your plans moving forward? I mean, what made you leave such a good job in a startup, man? What's your plans moving forward?
Yeah, my plan moving forward is I want to start my own agency that solve quite a huge problem in I think not only in startup but in any company in general. So when I was a business developer, I found when I communicate with the developer and everything, there's a lot of back and forth, and there's a lot of resources that needs to be you know uh, used to create a digital product.
Mm.
So for me, I think that's a huge issue and huge problem to be solved. And one of my goal right now is to find a solution, build a somewhat an easy solution or a faster solution that enable people to bring their ideas into reality. So let's say you are not a coder or something like that, bring your idea into reality and test out your idea and see whether your idea is doable or not. So
Mm.
right now I'm on this journey and I'm exploring a lot of different avenues. Yeah.
Interesting. So I think you basically clarified a very good problem. Actually, a problem that everyone has, which is they tend to build too much and they cannot test their
Yeah.
product. But
Yeah.
I before we get to that, I'm very curious to know. So you say you want to do an agency. That's in the end your long term goal.
Mm.
Share with us what makes you excited to do this agency. I mean, what's the opportunity that you can see?
The thing is, a lot of people have a lot of good ideas, but they don't know how to structure their ideas, structure their plan and come up with a doable, tangible, steps and action to make the ideas happen. And a lot of people as well, like they see, like right now in the tech industry, if you want, the gate barrier of entry is quite high, because
Mm.
you need to invest a lot of time, you need to invest a lot of energy into learning how to code, for example. So those are the kind of barriers that I think we over time it will be get. I mean, there's a lot of development in the software design space, and over time this barrier of entry will go lower and will go down.
Mm.
But that's what I'm excited about. I want to help lower down the barrier of entry, because I believe, like, a lot of people in Malaysia in general, they have ideas on in how to solve problems in the industry that they're working in, whether it is in healthcare, whether it is in any industry in general.
Mm.
So these ideas is stuck in their head, but they really put it out there. So yeah,
Yeah.
I want to be the contributor to help them to get the ideas into work.
Ah.
Yeah.
I remember there is I believe there are a few books out there, I cannot recall, but they were all around this idea of the book titles was something like validate your business plan in 4 days, or like get 24 hours, understand everything.
Mm.
And I can agree with you as well that a lot of times people have a lot of good ideas. They just don't know how to, maybe not that don't want to, they don't know how to really
Yes.
validate the idea and test it out, right? I
Yeah.
mean, based on what you have seen, what in your working experience with companies or even friends, if you were talking to entrepreneurs now, right, who wanted to do an idea, what would you say are things that they need to do to really go out there and, what are the first few things they should do?
The first thing that they should do is definitely validate the ideas. That's the most important part. And I mean, learning from my experience, uh, if you are not validating your idea correctly, or you're not doing it, investing a lot of time in validating your idea, uh, further down the line, you're gonna be wasting a lot of your time. You're gonna be wasting a lot of your energy, and in the end, your idea is not feasible. Or so there's a lot of ways for you to validate your ideas, and one of the way is by creating minimum viable products, for example. So those are the things that you can test the waters, and see whether people really want. Is there any demand in your ideas? And if there is, then you scale. But yeah, a lot of people they kind of like want to go from 0 to 100, and in the end, like they're kind of like chasing the wrong direction, and then after that, that's the reason why their idea couldn't be fulfilled to the highest potential. So yeah, I think for people who have ideas and then they want to pursue it, just try to validate your idea first. There's a lot of resources on the internet, free resources on the internet that you can find to validate your ideas. And yeah,
Mm. Oftentimes, when even people want to build an MVP, sometimes they may even ask themselves, MVPs themselves cost a lot of money, apparently, right? I
yeah,
mean, when you have your agency in the future, how do you intend to solve this problem for the thousands of entrepreneurs out there
yeah,
and help them assess their business?
yeah. In the software and tech industry is growing so fast that they have an issue where they cannot find people with the proper skills to to help with the growth. So and the good thing about this industry is that they know how to solve the issue, their own problem. So a new development in this, I think, is another space or another niche in the software in the development industry, is where people create multiple drag and drops, low code, no code solution for people like me in general, like who don't know how to code, to just structure their thinking and then make sure that they follow the proper path, and then come up with an MVP and then validate the ideas. So I mean, this problem is a lot of people have gone through this issue in the past, and then there's a lot of development in this space. So I think in terms of software development and or technology industry in general, I think this space is one of the most interesting and one of the most exciting space that I think I want to pursue.
Interesting. So coming on that thing you just mentioned,
Mm.
what is your ambition or your goal? What's your vision for yourself for the next 10 years? What do you see yourself doing? What makes you motivated to wake up every day and do
All
the things
right.
you're doing?
Oh, for the next 10 years, there's, I mean, that's a huge question. It's quite hard for me to answer, but I'll try my best.
Next 5 years, yeah.
Next 5 years. Okay. So I think right now we are on the cusp of, you know, uh, growth in multiple different areas in software development. All right. Uh, and it's never too late to join. And for me, for the next 5 years, I want to try my best to contribute to the community to help these ideas to come to fruition, to be to help people in structuring their ideas in a deliberate manner, in a in a uh, structured manner, and then bring the ideas to the market and see what's the market react to it. So I think uh, one of my goal is to lower down the barrier of entry into this industry, and yeah.
Okay, interesting. I wanted to get your opinion on this. I always ask myself, right, if somebody wants to do a business, is the biggest barrier to entry, building the product or going to the customers or marketing or raising funds? I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of times people have money, they build the product, but they just end up still, having a very bad experience or not validating it properly.
Mm,
There a very low risk way that people can validate an idea, even maybe even without an MVP,
mm. Yeah,
right?
there is ideas that a lot of people, like one of the method that people do is that just to create a simple landing page and get people to sign up. That's
Mm,
it. Just collect email, and and from there they can see like run an ads, and then from there they can see that whether their unique value proposition of the idea that they want to solve or the problem that they want to solve is a universal problem or something that people really want or willing to pay. So
mm,
I mean, you don't have to build like a software, a fully fledged software, or even an MVP when you want to gauge the market. You can do it the simple way. One of the simplest ways is just like talk to people, like have a coffee chat every lunch. Just talk to one person uh, every day in the industry that you're trying to solve the issue with. So yeah. So I mean, in terms of validating the market, it takes little to zero skills in technical skills, but you have to know how to answer or how to ask the right question. Yeah.
interesting. Okay. So if I understand now correctly, you are currently in the learning phase,
Yes.
right? I mean, you took a break from your work. You're currently exploring various technologies to see where your future career is going to be in
Mm.
terms of in the tech space and all that. So tell us, what's the journey like, for someone who is learning full time, really at a crossroads of understanding where technology is going at. What are you doing day to day? How's life like?
Oh, okay. So you have to be very disciplined in whatever you're doing. So that's one thing. Have a system. Just have a structured system of a day-to-day basis. It's not only like for work. This is for life in general. So for me, like my daily task right now is to absorb as much uh, thing as possible to learn, and usually I do it in a weekly basis, and then come up with a conclusion at the end of the week, like what exactly did I learn, and is this the thing that can contribute to the to what I want to build. So the every week you're gonna have to have a reflection of what you have learned. If it's not, and be honest with yourself, if it's not contributing to your goal, then just scrap it and then try to find a better and more efficient way. But yeah, just you have to just put in the works in general. So just yeah, I think that's the only thing that I can talk about, because like right now I'm in the process of building my first project as well. And honestly speaking, it's the journey itself is very there's ups and downs. There's a lot of ups and downs, and there's a lot of things that you get stuck in. And then the main thing is that you don't stop asking people about it. Just go to forums and yeah, and ask on whatever things that you are
Mm.
stuck on. And another thing is that a lot of people, when they are self-learning, they tend to learn by only just watching videos. And I mean, I think a lot of people, some people may be like good in that, but from what I can see, like if you are learning how to code, or if you are learning how to a new programming language, you have to put in the practice, meaning you have to put your fingers in the in the keyboard and then start typing.
Mm.
So a lot of other people or other programmers that I talk to, they also like um, they also tell me the same thing, that you have to work on the project instead of just watching
Mm.
videos. So it's a different way of learning. It's not passive learning. It has to be
Mm.
an active kind of learning. You have to network at the same time. So it's kind of like like you're in real working situation, where you
Yeah.
also have to talk to people and you also have to do the work at the same time. So it's kind of this same thing for me, like in my self learning journey.
Okay, interesting. You mentioned this exciting project of yours. Maybe in brief, if you wanna
Yeah.
share with the people, where's the exciting opportunities for the projects that you're in now? I mean,
Yeah. So I'm
yeah.
trying to, in whatever the thing that I'm doing, it has to solve a problem that people may face, and this is the problem that I am facing currently in learning how to code. So I think one of the thing that people would go through, because there's a lot of ways for you to code, or even like when you want to choose a programming language, there's multiple programming language. So uh, for my project, I'm trying to build a curated library of best practices in building a, a tech product. So best practices in building a tech product. And then briefly speaking, it's just like a space for you to to see what other people, how other people do things visually, and then they can see like how people build product from zero to to completion. And these
Mm.
are the best practices that you can see them how they do it, and then you can maybe copy their practices, or
Mm.
maybe find another best practice that you are comfortable with. So
Mm.
right now, that's still in the infancy stage. I just started this project a month ago.
No
So
worries.
yeah, but it's coming along quite well. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to show you guys what I've been working on. But yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. What's your plans after this project? What's next for you?
My plan after this project is to get the words out and add this project into my portfolio, and also use this project to help me for another project.
Oh,
So this
wow.
project
Amazing.
will be a foundation for my next project. So yeah, it has to be related to
Amazing.
each other. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. You spoke earlier about no code versus code platforms.
Mm.
What's your take about it? Do people really need to learn how to code to be able to build apps? I know you've done some research in this area.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I think people need to have a state of mind of a programmer, one thing. And some people, they learn differently than others. Some people, they can grasp a concept of abstract concept for programming, and they can just like get it just like that. But there are other peoples that they cannot grasp the concept and they get intimidated by that, and they think that, oh, maybe I'm not talented enough in programming. But it's just because you don't get it the first time doesn't mean that you are talented in it. Basically, like for me, in my opinion, no code or low code can be a good barrier of entry for people who has issues or problems in structuring or think like a programmer and structuring the data or stuff like that. So for me, if I were to in my opinion, if you, let's say you have tried to learn, let's say for example, a language, like let's say you try to learn Python, and then you kind of like don't get it, and you don't see the value behind it, and you just want to get like a project in your mind to be working. You don't want to just create hello world, and you just want to see it visually. Then maybe a low code or no code areas is good for you, because you want to get a sense of, oh, I accomplished this thing. And from there you will learn that how to structure the database, how to structure the front end, the back end. And if you want to, over time you will have to go deeper, and then that's when, you know, like you go to another level, and next thing you know, like you already have the right mindset to learn how to program or how to learn a certain language. So I think a lot of people, when they started their journey in programming, they might be having problems in grasping this new concept, and that's what turned them off into learning this, how
Mm,
to code or how to program. But there's a lot of ways for you to start. There's a lot of ways for you to, go through with this journey. There's no one way that is better than the others. It all depends on how you learn and who you are.
mm. I have one very curious question now that just came to my mind. Earlier, you mentioned you came from a background, a business background in a startup.
Yeah.
You were the business guy managing the project, and there was coders involved as well. Which is better in your opinion? Should someone be a business guy managing the coders, or the coder who knows the tech doing the code? Which is a better career path, and which will you choose?
This I hate to give a it depends answer, but it depends on you. It depends on you actually. I mean, if you don't like coding, but you want to make a change, you want to, create a product that solve a problem, it's okay for you to just be an idea guy and just, come up with a design, the first concept or anything. It's okay uh, if you just want to be the business guy. And if you don't like to, to if you don't like talking to people, for example, or you just like, I only want to
Mm,
work in front of the computer and then just deal with the code, then just do that. So there's
mm.
no like, um, I think it all depends on you and what you want, exactly your end goal in life.
Why did you change then?
Oh, the reason I change is because like I want to involve myself into this, this idea that I have in my mind, and this is like I'm taking the leap, and this is the thing that I want to pursue for my career. So this is just me creating a foundation of my career. Yeah. Mm.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting insights. Now, before we come to a close, do you have anything you want to share with the viewers of this video? Anything, any message you want to share about anything?
Yeah,
Any
I
opportunities?
think,
Yeah,
yeah,
advice. Yeah.
I think like there's a lot of people in their journey. You are probably a student, and you're probably someone who is working while learning, and you're probably unemployed. uh, a good thing to do when you are starting your journey is that to find a community. So by having a community itself, like you you will train yourself to network and to find people with similar ideas, similar minds, and then these people can help support you. So
Mm,
what I'm doing right now in my journey is that I just try to find like a group of people who like to code and like to, learn on self-learn things, and then that's how I come
mm,
across the Hackers Collective. And for me, having a support system, a support network of people who self-learn has been such a great help in making sure that you do your stuff and making sure that you're on the right track, you're on the right track and in achieving your goal. So if you are on your own journey of self learning, or you're thinking of transitioning into the software industry, tech industry, and you don't know where to start, just you know uh, try to find like-minded people, and from there you will be surprised how much help they can give it to you. And then
Mm.
also, after you get your help, and then after you go through the journey, you can help other people as well. So I think that's one of the key important thing that I found out, like
Mm.
when you're self-learning. Yeah, you cannot do it alone. You have to get out there, try to find someone like-minded people. And
Yeah, it's a very lonely journey to go in all alone.
yeah,
I understand that, especially speaking to a lot of previous people who were trying to learn coding as well. But
correct.
hey, thank you very much, Aiman, for such a informative session. I'm gonna stop the recording now. Say bye bye.
Bye.